Hello. We've been looking at various approaches to help you become more creative. In this one, we'll concentrate on sensitizing you to the dangers of projecting the past into the future. You've had a good look at this total mistype of mine. With so many errors, I was very sure you'll not be able to make any sense from it. But strangely, I'm hearing that you managed to understand not just a part of my message, but actually all of it. Wow. Now that looks like a great power of the mind, the power to autocorrect. And in most situations, that is what it is, a power. The moment the mind sees a gap in understanding the present scene, the search button gets activated over the hard disk of your brain. So far, so good. But the problem is that the eyes see only what they look for, and they look for what is already in the mind. In the last case, the spellings of words like research, English, universities were already stored in your mind. So your eyes looked for them, found them, and auto-corrected my mistype. And what else is there in the mind? A lifetime of experiences, precedents, the way things have always been done in the past. If the hard disk contains data even remotely similar to the situation you are facing now, it forces an autocorrect, all as per past experience. Haven't you heard that an old dog does not learn new tricks? Why? Too much data already in there. But young dogs do learn new tricks. Maybe this is the reason why breakthrough inventions never come from experts in the industry, but from novices to the game. Oh, you didn't know that? Well, here's proof. Wright brothers were not aeronautical engineers, they were bicycle mechanics. The submarine design came from a clergyman, the cotton gin from an attorney, and the fire extinguisher from a captain of the militia. Here are some more, if you please. So, how could these people come up with astoundingly new ideas? Not because of their deep knowledge, but because of the lack of deep knowledge on that particular topic. Their hard disks were clean, not overused. Heard of the bumblebee? On the bumblebee, the laws of aerodynamics are clear. This creature does not have the right design to be able to fly. The wing size and the flutter per second does not give it the necessary wing loading to be able to fly. Fortunately, the bumblebee can't read books on aerodynamics, so it goes on flying happily anyway. So, are inventors people who know nothing of the discipline they're working in? No, not that. They know something, but not everything. This is what Sir Clive Sinclair had to say. There's one more reason to stop your mind from projecting the past into the future. What if there is no right answer at all? Many a time, the answer has to be created and not found. Well, what's the right answer to this? Does the answer have to be found or created? Or this? Or this? Since there is no right answer, so the hard disk search won't help. And there are no answers, there are only options. Let's take it further. Even if there is a precedent, does that precedent hold good even now? Did the precedent represent a wisdom of the ages that must never be contradicted? Or could it be that the precedent came about for some weak and circumstantial reasons rather than some universal truths? Sample this case. It's not very often that we ask why things are the way they are, but here's an answer to you. The US standard railroad gauge, the distance between the rails is 4 feet 8.5 inches. That's an exceedingly odd number. Why was that gauge used? Because that's the way they built them in England. And the US railroads were built on English expatriates. And why did the English build them that way? Because the first rail lines were built by the same people who built the pre-railroad tramways, and that's the gauge they used. Why did they use that gauge? Because the people who built the tramways used the same jigs and tools that they used for building wagons, which used the wheel spacing. Why did the wagons have that particular odd spacing? Well, if they tried to use any other spacing, the wagon wheels would break on some of the old long distance roads in England, because that was the spacing of the wheel ruts. And so, who built those old rutted roads? The first long distance roads in England were built by Imperial Rome for the legions. And the ruts in the roads? The ruts in the roads, which everyone had to match for fear of destroying their wagon wheels, were first formed by Roman war chariots. Since the chariots were made for Imperial Rome, they were all alike in the matter of wheel spacing. Thus, the US standard railroad gauge of 4 feet 8.5 inches derives from the original specification for an Imperial Roman war chariot. So the next time you are handed a specification and wonder what horse's backside came up with it, you may be exactly right, because the Imperial Roman war chariots were made just wide enough to accommodate the back end of two war horses. Specifications and bureaucracies live forever. So where does this take us? Quite simple actually. Question everything. Ask, so what? We'll provide you the tools to do that. But in this case, just being sensitized to what is happening is a powerful enough tool. But if we can help, please get in touch. Thank you.